Japan's decision to introduce a new class of offshore patrol vessels, known as the Sakura-class, reflects a strategic recalibration of maritime security policy in response to evolving regional challenges. This shift is not limited to increasing quantities of ships, but rather signifies a deliberate choice to enhance routine surveillance, sustained presence, and graduated response in Japan's surrounding waters. In November 2025, Japan Marine United Corporation launched the first two ships of this new class, JS Sakura with pennant number OPV 901 and JS Tachibana with pennant number OPV 902, at the Yokohama shipyard in Kanagawa Prefecture, marking a milestone in the Japan Maritime Self-Defense Force's modernization efforts. These vessels are not warships in the classic sense. Each measures approximately 95 meters in length, displaces roughly 1,900 tons, and is principally designed for maritime domain awareness missions, including continuous patrols of Japan's exclusive economic zone and the waters around the southwestern island chain that includes Okinawa. The Sakura-class's armament is intentionally minimal, comprising a single 30mm cannon for self-defense rather than high-intensity engagements, underscoring their role in peacetime monitoring and constabulary duties. The launch of Sakura and Tachibana is particularly notable because it represents the first time the Japan Maritime Self-Defense Force has built a dedicated offshore patrol vessel class rather than relying solely on larger surface combatants or repurposed auxiliary vessels for patrol missions. The simultaneous launch of two hulls in mid-November 2025 indicates Japan's urgency in strengthening its maritime posture amid increasing naval activity by neighboring countries. Rapid regional maritime expansion has compelled Tokyo to adjust its force structure to ensure persistent observation without escalating tensions. Central to the strategic concept behind the Sakura-class is the need to maintain a visible, continuous presence in Japan's maritime approaches. Japan possesses one of the largest exclusive economic zones in the world, and its extensive coastline, including remote islands such as Yonaguni and Ishigaki, requires sustained monitoring. Traditionally, destroyers and frigates of the Japan Maritime Self-Defense Force conducted many of these duties alongside other high-end combat tasks. However, assigning larger warships to routine patrol missions is not only costly but may also send signals of escalation in sensitive areas such as the waters near the Senkaku Islands. The Sakura-class offshore patrol vessels therefore fulfill a critical niche. They provide a constant maritime presence that can deter illegal fishing, monitor foreign naval and air activity, support disaster response, and enforce maritime regulations without the overt projection of combat power that larger escorts represent. This design philosophy aligns with Tokyo's long-standing defense policy, which emphasizes defensive capability and adherence to international law. By tailoring vessel classes to specific missions, Japan enhances its ability to maintain stability in its maritime environment, even as geopolitical competition intensifies. Another defining feature of the Sakura class is automation. Each vessel is designed to operate with a crew of roughly 30 personnel, a figure significantly smaller than the complements required for larger surface combatants. Automated navigation, control systems, and integrated monitoring tools are built into the Sakura-class platform to reduce manpower requirements. This is a pragmatic response to Japan's demographic challenges, including a shrinking workforce and low birth rate, which have significant implications for sustaining a high tempo of naval operations over the long term. The propulsion system of the Sakura class further underscores Japan's emphasis on endurance and efficiency. These offshore patrol vessels employ a combined diesel, electric, and diesel configuration, enabling economical cruising during extended patrols while retaining sufficient responsiveness when operational conditions demand it. A stern crane and containerized mission modules allow the vessels to adapt to a variety of task sets, including disaster relief logistics, intelligence collection, and support missions for other maritime agencies. A significant recent development that complements the Sakura-class's operational philosophy is the arrival of vertical takeoff and landing unmanned aerial vehicles at Japan Maritime Self-Defense Force bases in late 2025. These unmanned systems require only limited deck space and significantly enhance intelligence, surveillance, and reconnaissance capabilities. With long endurance and extended operational reach, such drones allow offshore patrol vessels to observe and track maritime activity far beyond the visual horizon, greatly expanding situational awareness while minimizing risk to personnel. The integration of unmanned aerial vehicles into the Sakura-class architecture illustrates a broader trend within Japanese defense planning. The fusion of manned platforms with autonomous systems creates a distributed and information-rich operating environment, improving maritime domain awareness without requiring proportional increases in ship numbers or crew size. This approach resonates strongly with domestic audiences attentive to defense efficiency, fiscal responsibility, and human resource sustainability. From a policy perspective, the Sakura-class program also reflects Japan's evolving defense posture in the context of regional partnerships. These vessels are expected to play a role in interoperability with regional partners in the United States, particularly in maritime domain awareness, humanitarian assistance, and search and rescue operations. By designing vessels that are modular and adaptable, the Japan Maritime Self-Defense Force ensures operational compatibility across a wide range of scenarios, from routine peacetime cooperation to crisis response. The deployment timeline for the Sakura-class further highlights Tokyo's strategic intent. While Sakura and Tachibana are scheduled for commissioning in early 2027, additional hulls are already progressing through construction and launch phases. Over the coming decade, Japan plans to introduce approximately 12 offshore patrol vessels under this program, reinforcing a long-term shift towards sustained maritime presence supported by scalable capability. When compared with other platforms in the Japan Maritime Self-Defense Force inventory, the Sakura-class occupies a clearly defined operational role. Larger combatants are optimized for high-end warfighting, equipped with advanced sensors, missile systems, and anti-submarine warfare capabilities. The Sakura-class, by contrast, prioritizes routine but persistent maritime surveillance and presence missions. This division of labor allows Japan to preserve high-end combat readiness while ensuring continuous monitoring of its maritime approaches. The symbolic dimension of the Sakura-class naming convention also deserves attention. The name Sakura, representing the cherry blossom, carries deep cultural meaning associated with renewal, resilience, and national identity. Tachibana, drawn from classical Japanese tradition, conveys continuity and historical rootedness. Together, these names subtly reinforce the connection between Japan's maritime strategy and its broader cultural and historical narrative. Looking ahead, the operationalization of the Sakura-class will serve as a key indicator of how Japan manages maritime security under conditions of persistent competition. As these vessels enter service and conduct regular patrols, they will generate operational experience that informs future force development, particularly in areas such as automation, unmanned systems integration, and modular ship design. The lessons learned will likely influence not only future Japanese platforms but also broader regional thinking on cost-effective maritime security. In conclusion, the Sakura-class offshore patrol vessels represent a carefully calibrated enhancement of Japan's maritime defense architecture. By emphasizing endurance, automation, and continuous presence rather than heavy armament, Japan has chosen a path that supports deterrence and stability without unnecessary escalation. For a Japanese audience attuned to policy nuance and strategic balance, The Sakura-class exemplifies how maritime capability development can align national defense requirements with broader goals of regional stability and long-term sustainability.